I've got about 20 helium mining rigs deployed just in my own personal account. Helium is basically mining crypto with radio waves, or now it's pivoting towards 5G. Helium mining was incredibly cool, fun, and super profitable. To be honest, it's really sucked recently for a lot of reasons, and I want to clarify two reasons why it sucks in today's video, and something that I was really excited about. I don't know, I'm losing a lot of enthusiasm. My name is Vosker on the VosCoin YouTube channel. I don't know everything, but I hope I know something, so let's jump into it. As always, nothing in this video is financial advice. I'm not looking to slander anyone or defamation or whatever anybody wants to come up with in this just crybaby era of cryptocurrency. So let's start off with like a more positive thing, right? And then I'll give you more basically my 2 cents, for what it's worth. So this is from Bobcat's blog, and this is supposed to be the simple take on HIP 51. There's a lot of information that we could really decipher and break down here, but let's just kind of run through this one right now. So Bobcat is proposing HIP 51 as the single biggest event in the growth of the Helium network and your current LoRaWAN HNT earnings. They think that we'll look back on this as a pivotal milestone in the journey of Helium's network's evolution. Okay, HIP 51 was passed, and this will apparently allow the expansion of Helium's network wireless capabilities in providing a comprehensive portfolio of decentralized wireless services while securing its market dominance. So, brief history lesson here. So, DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, will be deployed across Helium here, decentralized network tokens, DNT, under the HNT umbrella token distribution. You try to keep up, all right, because this is supposed to be the simple version. Apple released new products, and over time, it became more valuable. Amazon released new products, and over time it became more valuable. Why you should evolve, the blockbuster moment, right? You don't want to become Blockbuster. You didn't evolve, you became outdated. Netflix should have been the clear evolution of Blockbuster, but they missed that wave, and then, well, they shuttered their doors. Why you're earning less each month and why it's not too late. Everybody wants to point to the Bitcoin pizza moment and stuff like that. I'll be honest, I'm hungry, Pizza sounds great right now. But focus here, okay? So your earnings are going down when you look at them relative to the dollars, and that's just absolutely true. The amount of HNT you're mining is also going down. That's absolutely true. But don't worry. If you hold on long enough and the price continues to appreciate, the network becomes more valuable, then you do all right long term. Looking at the piece of the pie, look at the 5G HNT earnings here. The sun is supposed to encompass the lower earnings here. If you don't know, a typical helium miner, just an average, normal, standard helium, and also now just simply dubbed light hotspots, right? Those are all LoRa miners. They're just basically little radios to kind of talk about it simply. You can only earn HNT through mining LoRa or 5G miners that have LoRa mining capabilities. In the case of the Bobcat miner, you can buy the 300 LoRa or the Bobcat miner 500, the Bobber 500, which is LoRa plus 5G. So we have both of those. We've talked about them many times before. If you do choose to buy one, please use our link down in the video description below, but I assure you that is not the point of this video. And to be honest, I don't really think it's a great time to be buying miners, and I'll explain exactly why here as we go through this video and the rest of this content. HNT earnings through LoRa vastly outweigh 5G earnings because there are none at the moment, even when each Helium wireless network and its corresponding tokens are under the umbrella of the Helium Network DAO. And they will implement new tokenomics fully. In the beginning, it's only the early adopters of 5G that will earn 5G mobile tokens through a sort of airdrops distribution for meeting specific criteria and not accrue to the usage of 5G data credits, namely the LoRa, which will get IoT or Internet of Things tokens. These IoT tokens you earn will likely be superior, they claim, as convertible assets into HNT over 5G tokens for some time. However, over time, 5G and other wireless network tokens will likely overtake the burning of data credits as network adoption and commercial carriers come on board and offload data onto the boarded market. They think we'll similarly see Wi-Fi 6 installed in hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses globally. Nevertheless, they think that this will drive the value of all the tokens collectively, especially HNT and IoT tokens. You can avoid the sensationalized headlines on your social media. If it sounds like clickbait, it's probably clickbait, okay? Don't get caught up in the drama, okay? Additionally, try to avoid armchair experts. Let me get them armchairs right here. From the sidelines, especially in the comments on any YouTube video. Let's take a recent tweet from Amir, the CEO of Nova Labs, formerly Helium Inc., founder of Helium, right? A lot of confusion floating around this weekend from various YouTubers about Helium and HIP 51 changes that are being voted on. The chart below has confused a lot of LoRa miners. It's not a reward split chart for HIP 51 after HIP 51. Basically, this is supposed to be the increase in market potential. What's happening here, in my opinion, is LoRa is being phased out. It's a 1.2 market distribution, and they're basically, pushing Helium is having so much more potential moving this direction. And look, I think the 5G aspect is really cool. I've been shouting that for, over a year or so, ever since I found out about it, right? But just like when you voice an opinion that differs from the Helium mob, they all basically attack you. The 1.2% reward reduction thing is basically that if the market share is worth 100%, then it only makes sense for Helium to eventually only put 1.2% of Helium's rewards towards IoT, towards LoRa. Basically, the people who've built out this initial Helium network, right? These hotspots, now light hotspots, and that there's basically 1 million of them deployed. Well, they're on track to be worth 1.2% of all the Helium that's minted moving forward. Because from their overarching point of view, why would they send out more Helium to LoRa than what the market kind of deserves? It would make sense to heavily reward 5G miners because there's a bigger pie to try to eat over there. There's more money to be made. There's more market cap to be gained with 5G. So why are you going to spend so much of your HNT on LoRa when you could be further and more heavily incentivizing users on the 5G side? That's the point. That's the writing on the wall. LoRa is old news. IoT is old news. And they're going to say no. But look at the changes. Look at the marketing. It's all well underway. Of course, Bobcat's all about 5G. They're going to be the biggest 5G Helium hotspot miner manufacturer. They made a killing in the last bull run. They're going to make a killing in the next bull run. They're positioned to win yet again with the new changes. I'm not hating on them, but we have to kind of read between the lines with everything, and that's how you can be informed and make the best decisions. It makes no sense to buy LoRa miners at this point. There's many options that you can buy that are in stock, ready to ship. There are cheaper options coming aboard, right? But really, as it stands, Helium has been trending down overall price point due to overall bearish crypto market sentiment and conditions. Okay, it's held up pretty well, all things considered. In long term, I still am bullish on Helium because they're doing something pretty cool, pretty useful. But as far as being a LoRa miner, it doesn't make sense to buy any more miners, in my opinion. I think this shit's cool, personally. Again, I'm gonna keep mine. I'm not dumping mine, whatever else, and they're all deployed at different locations because they're supposed to be, even though many game the network. And Helium just doesn't really do all that much about that. Rumors I've heard is because many people, close in line with Helium and in bed, and this is a rumor, I'm not trying to spread a bunch of FUD, whatever, but basically, some people with the right friends and whatever else, they game. They make a ton of money. They make a ton of Helium. And I sit here and play by the rules, and they pass me by. I look like I'm falling down in Fall Guys, man. Somebody pick me up. You can't pick people up in Fall Guys. You never play. It's free now. What are you waiting for? It's pretty fun. But yeah, that's the point. Imagine, we'll just use rough numbers, right? 100 Helium is minted every day. And a ton of that went to LoRa miners, okay? And then they took some of that away and they gave it to validators, and they removed the lottery mechanism that basically hotspots performed a function that validators now perform, and the hotspots were heavily rewarded for being involved with that. Using heavier just computing equipment that these validator nodes basically have does help the network scale more. But it's a prime example of LoRa miners losing and Helium whales gaining. You need
10,000
Helium to deploy a Helium validator. Okay, and now we have all these sub tokens, right? Numerous DAOs. Look at the recent HIPs. They're all pushed through, massively supported, right? And these subtokens will be biting at that same 100 helium, again, it's placeholder number, mind, every single day. Guess what's not going to be reduced? The 35% of helium tokens that are sent to the helium team. There's the helium team, there's the Dewey Foundation, the Helium Foundation, Nova Labs, formerly Helium Inc., whatever. There's a lot of inside baseball kind of moves that, in my opinion, are taking place in these scenarios. And in my opinion, the summary is that things will continue to trend down for lower miners. It's just nothing has gotten better. And we're not even talking about the fact that half my helium hotspots don't even work due to the helium blockchain just getting worse and worse with every update, to be honest, as far from the point of view as a helium miner. And manufacturers doing a bad job and them not policing their manufacturers properly. When you start really digging deep into the background of George and Syncrobit and the way that he's basically scammed us with the helium pre-orders and just completely screwed us with the very small limited edition release we wanted to do with him, because what a cool opportunity to bring a custom branded miner in the heat of a crypto bull run, and helium surged to large scale recognizable success, right? But yeah, over a year later, we're all still waiting and we're all pissed, and it sucks. But anyway, I could keep going on. I don't want to just start a fest here. The point is that it's all about 5G to them, and all the other things are just noise to deal with later, if ever. You know, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. I've been a GPU miner and with many coins that have gone the way of ASIC mining, and you just end up the little guy that nobody gives a fuck about. And I see a lot of those same things in the making here. I say this as someone who is interested in helium mining, enjoys it, passionate, cares about it. But because I bring a opinion and stance of frustration and legitimate concerns, in my opinion, I get flamed by this section of just, helium fanboys. And it's just, it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. I'll leave it at that. I can't read the New York Times. I don't care because I don't subscribe. They are an organization that is largely built on lies. But what is interesting is Helium somehow was able to get, maybe there's a use case for crypto after all. Somehow they got a crypto headline that, even though snarky, was actually positive and has this fun little animation on top. I think this is very interesting. This shows some ties they may have, or just persuading the right person, journalists there. If you don't know, mainstream media will lie, and they've done it numerous times, even just with us, and we're a very small fish in the grand ocean that is this world. So with that said and moving on, we got the minted 5G miner. In my opinion, the ugliest miner award goes to Minted and their 5G miner. I think they had some of the coolest miners with their black spots and gold spots, and I still think we should have done a green spot. I'm not trying to be super mean, and it's more about functionality, but I think this thing is terribly ugly. I don't know, something about it just really bothers me. I don't know if it's the circle on circle on circle, and this looks like some kind of weird dish. I don't know, but here's the technicals, right? So this functions as a LoRa, a 4G, a 5G, an all-in-one, AGW radio all-in-one. This is an all-in-one plug-and-play unit. One of the coolest things ever to come to Helium, if not the coolest thing ever. I'm not trying to be super mean, and I'm sorry, Mint the team, if you happen to watch this, that I think it's ugly. I think it's real ugly. I want to know down in the comments below if you think helium mining sucks now, or you think it's great, and what you think the future looks like. I posted this video, had this one earlier. I didn't realize that, that RPM basically had the same title, and then DJ Mines also said that basically helium mining sucks as well. So yeah, depending on your deployment, you can still make, some decent returns with helium mining, all things considered, especially if you had a cheaper miner or didn't overpay, or they're trading on eBay for below MSRP. There's no reason to jump into Bobcat's pre-order line at this point when there's stock that's readily available. Minted, I believe, still has miners in stock ready to ship, but let me pull up my app. That's another thing that just beyond pisses me off. I don't want 17 apps for all of my different helium miner hotspots. Helium Inc. Nova Labs should be spearheading development of an incredible app, because it's so freaking obvious. And it frustrates me even more that a little bit over a year ago, their app was phenomenal. It was cool. It was, very easy to use. It was a trendsetter. And it was just an absolute pleasure of experience, something that really got me hyped for helium mining. Now it's not that. And the fact that they're trying to pawn it off to all the other manufacturers and their unique abilities, I honestly, I probably don't even care about any of that. I want to be in one app and control my multiple hotspots from multiple helium hotspot miners. So right now, I mean, really half my hotspots are broken down or whatever. I have a couple that are up and doing well. My OG hotspot continues to do well. Those are really cool and fun. And I truly believe a bit of a collectible in a way. You know, if helium really makes it. I've got numerous hotspots that are up right now and made literally fucking nothing, right? And look, I could refine some of these deployments. I'm not saying all my stuff is picture perfect and all that, but half my miners that are up have made nothing. Another chunk of my miners are just simply down, and they should be up. And then my best miner, it is a Bobcat miner 300. People, you know, this is like my go-to miner. He just absolutely kills it. So he's made $2.16 in the last 24 hours. My OG hotspot has made 98 cents. And then I've got two minted miners that have made 52 cents and 21 cents. When you break that down to helium, though, the $1 is pretty much 0.1 helium. The $2 figure is 0.21 helium. And so keep in mind that these would be pretty interesting return numbers if helium was trading at its all-time high, but it's not. It's down significantly from there. I'm personally very bearish on crypto in the short term, if not medium term. Helium is not so outstanding that it's going to decouple from Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market, and we're just going to be dying in a sea of red, and helium is going to be hitting new all-time highs. No, I don't know if you're new to crypto, but that's not how it works here. Basically, if Big Daddy Orange Coin's not having a good time, generally speaking, nobody really has a good time, especially as we kind of continue to trend down. We will kind of bottom out eventually, then we'll be stagnant and we'll start to crawl up, and then it'll go ridiculous parabolic again. Once we hit the bottom and start going up, that is where some cryptocurrencies get the opportunity to really shine, come out, and they will make some big gains against BTC, especially short-term, medium-term. But anyway, again, that is speculation based on my experience. I don't know everything. I don't know the future. I don't act like I do. I analyze the fundamentals, and I statistically win way more than I lose because of that. I've been doing this for over 5 years. I don't know everything, but god dang it, I hope I learned something along the way. I also learned you better subscribe. I'm done. I've talked too much today. I apologize for yet another long video, but I'll be honest. That's what happens when you care, you're passionate, and you give a f. So, hey, I hope you give a f too. And I can't fucking cuss on YouTube, so god damn, why is there so many bleeps on here? You better subscribe. God dang, come on. Hit the subscribe, comment below. Let me know your thoughts, good or bad, whatever. I'd love to hear them. And seriously, thanks for viewing. And yeah, hope I see you tomorrow as well.